Everybody jump, everybody jump, everybody jump.
Take it away, Mr. Adam.
We are professionals. We swear we're professionals. Welcome to Show Choir Live, everyone. I'm your host, Adam Peters. We've got Alex Hall in Chicago. He currently is setting up Mr. Mike Weaver, our special guest tonight. So I'm just going to take it right away, and I'm going to start you off with some results. It was a big weekend this past Saturday. We obviously did not have our show on Sunday to do results because of the Oscars, which was incredible if anyone watched. Shout out to Lady Gaga and your Sound of Music stuff. That was killer. So let's start with some results right off the bat. Starting in Illinois at the El Paso Gridley contest, 6th place was Eisenhower, 5th place was John Hersey, 4th place was Sullivan, 3rd place was Troy Buchanan with Best Choreography, 2nd was Danville, and 1st was Chesterton with Best Vocals. Shout out to the Sandpipers on that one. Down in Homewood, Alabama, 5th place went to Jackson Prep, 4th place went to Petal, 3rd place went to Albertville, 2nd place went to Auburn, and 1st place with Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band on their first time out this season, Clinton Attaché. At the Clover Hill contest, 6th place was Thomas Dale, 5th place was Manchester, 4th place was Cosby, 3rd place was Cosby's Girls Group, 2nd place was Olentangy, 1st place was Solon with Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band. At the West Jones Invitational, 5th place was Biloxi, 4th place was South Jones, 3rd was Oak Grove, 2nd was Jackson Academy, and 1st with Best Vocals and Best Choreo was Madison Central. At the Hastings Invitational in Hastings, Minnesota, 6th place went to Bloomington Jefferson, 5th place went to Iowa City High with Best Band, 4th place went to Bemidji, 3rd place went to St. Francis, 2nd place went to Omaha Westside, and 1st place, I think this was their 5th win this season, Johnston with Best Vocals and Best Choreo. At the Northridge Invitational, 5th place went to DeKalb, 4th place went to Brownsburg, 3rd place went to Norwell, 2nd place went to Carroll, and 1st place went to Huntington North with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. At the Monona Grove contest in Wisconsin, we had 6th place Tomah, 5th place Mayville, 4th place Eau Claire Memorial with Best Choreography, 3rd place Wheeling with Best Band, 2nd place Wahlert Catholic, and 1st place with Best Vocals, Fort Atkinson. Shout out to Abe, who has been on our show like 2 times before. He's in Fort Atkinson. That's really awesome to see. They're having a really awesome season. Down at the Nevada contest in Missouri, 5th place went to Warrensburg Girls, 4th place went to Warrensburg, 3rd place went to Harrisonville, 2nd place went to Pleasant Hill, and 1st place went to Smith Cotton. At the Great River Invitational in Davenport, Iowa, 6th place went to Muscatine, 5th place went to Iowa City High, 4th place went to Linn-Mar, 3rd place went to Cedar Rapids Kennedy, 2nd place went to Totino Grace, and 1st place with the sweep, Waconia Power Company. At the inaugural Decatur Eisenhower competition, 6th place went to Springfield, 5th place went to Euclid, 4th place went to Manteno, 3rd place with Best Choreography went to Mount Zion, 2nd place with Best Band went to Glenwood, and 1st place with Best Vocals went to Wheaton North Flight. That was a doozy of a contest. Congratulations to Flight. That's so cool. In Nebraska at the Norris competition, 6th place went to Scott Catholic. Yeah, we're saying Scott Catholic again. Good job, guys. 5th place went to Lincoln Southwest. 4th place went to Lincoln East. 3rd place went to Millard North. 2nd place went to Elkhorn South with Best Choreography. And 1st place with Best Vocals went to Papillion South. At the Aberdeen Central contest, 5th place went to Vermilion. 4th place went to Sioux Falls, Washington's Prep Group. 3rd place went to Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Second place went to Sioux Falls, Washington. And first place with the sweep went to Mitchell Friendicu. At the Pella Invitational, fifth runner-up was Carroll. Fourth runner-up was Central Lee. Third runner-up was Emmitsburg. Second runner-up was Center Point Urbana. First runner-up with Best Vocals was Mount Pleasant. And the grand champions of that event was, with Best Choreography and Best Band, Keokuk. And then the Indianola contest was held, and the 4A champion was Des Moines Lincoln, the 3A champion was Benton, and the 2A champion was Des Moines Christian. And there you have it, your competitions for last Saturday. And now I am just here chilling out with you guys because Mr. Alex Hall is still working with Mr. Mike Weber to get him on board. So, hey Steph, how's it going? I've got Steph Hyatt sitting on the couch right here tonight. Oh, are you back with me, Alex?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Mike will be here in a second. I've got him on the right page here.
Awesome. I was about to flounder and say really stupid things, so I'm glad you joined
Oh,
back.
you would never do that, Adam. I don't know why.
Never. I'm a public speaker through and through.
Well, I'm apparently like a pretty terrible tech support person, but I think we solved it. So he should be in here any second. We were just FaceTiming, and he was showing me his screen, and it was getting kind of complicated here. So thanks for sticking with us, guys. Sorry for all the technical problems. There was a lot going on all of a sudden. Mike is in Toronto doing something with a documentary film that we're going to ask him about. And so his schedule today has been really, really hectic. And we finally were able to sit down and try to figure things out with about 2 minutes to show. So things got a little hectic, and I was trying to start the intro and talk to him, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, welcome. We missed you. And let's talk about our weekend, Adam. What did you do this weekend? You went to, what, Grand River?
Great River.
Great River. I always mess those two up. Sorry.
Yeah, I was at my alma mater's competition. Muscatine, my group, competed. Your group as well. They did awesome. They had a great prelims performance. It was intense. The lineup was a doozy. There was about 3 or 4 groups shooting for that last spot in finals, and my kids beasted it out, and they got that spot. Finals was incredible. It was just the coolest celebration of show choir I've been to this season yet. The directors involved in finals, the groups that were in finals, just so cool. We were talking throughout. The kids were having a blast. It just didn't really kind of feel like a competition, which was really cool. But the caliber of groups in finals was really outstanding. It was a great day of show choir. It was a long day, but I loved it. It was cool.
Nice.
Where were you?
I was in New York City, and I had a songwriting session with my friend Josh, and we kind of collaborated on a song, and then I just kind of hung out, and I watched SNL 40, which is 3.5 hours long. I don't know how many of you got through the whole thing, but it was pretty good. And it was nice to just sit for 5 seconds of my life, even though I was in New York and I was like, okay, I got to do a million things. It was like, okay, no, this is my time to chill. So I did that, and I watched all the show choir results come in, and it was great.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it too is we were together from Sunday through this morning, and now we're 200 miles apart. We instead of doing show choir live, of course, the Oscars were on, so we watched that together. That was pretty cool. I kind of gave a shout out to Lady Gaga in the opening, Alex, because she beasted her performance.
She was insane. She absolutely. I've been hoping that she would strip down musically for a while, and finally she just hung with it and did it so simply and beautifully. It was awesome. And then also last night, Adam and I went to one of my groups, Prospect Mixed Company. We went to their rehearsal out here in the northwest suburbs, and that was a lot of fun. And Adam took some video, so I'm going to play a couple quick clips of Mount Prospect Mixed Company and their 2015 show. So let me switch audio sources. And maybe by that time we'll magically have Mike Weaver with us. So cross your fingers, people. Here we go.
All they are is dust in the wind. Sing old song, just a drop of water in the atmosphere. Oh, we do, tell us to love. Sing of many times dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a really fun rehearsal. Your kids are awesome.
They have a Mike. We have Mike. Yes, we did it! Absolute last second at the buzzer, crushed it. But yeah, Adam, we had a fun time working with them, and they love you. You know that. And we get to go out with Mount Prospect to Broadhead, Wisconsin, and central southern Wisconsin this weekend, and that should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to that. So.
And that's their first time out since Muscatine. That's
Yes.
been like a long time. So
They had a 5-week break, so they're
brushing the cobwebs off.
yeah, they're certainly ready for it. But let's get going with our special guest, our main event, Mr. Mike Weaver. He's a choreographer. He does 100,000 other things and some of them I don't even know yet. I'm sure he's a sculptor and painter and race car test track driver as well. He's like, yeah. But we're glad to have him here, and he's coming to us from Toronto, Canada tonight. He actually lives about 5-10 blocks south of me here on the north side of Chicago. But Mike, how you doing, man? I'm glad we could get you in here.
I'm great. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I feel like I just ran like a digital marathon here trying to
You
get
did. It was amazing.
like
Yeah,
producing
amazing.
and hosting the show. I need to like. Does anyone want to just come sit next to me when I do this and do the production side? Because I'm like my head is spinning sometimes. But yeah. Let's talk about you. So you've been a choreographer full time for how long?
Let's see. I remember the Dead Sea when I was only 6, so that would have been 1930. No. I think I did it right out of well, during Millikan. I was at Millikan, so I'd have been since then. So 25 years or more. 25 years.
That's awesome. And were you full time pretty quick out of school?
No, I went to school for piano, of course. So I went to work for Carnival Cruise Lines for a while as a pianist, and so that was kind of what I was doing. And going
Why am
to
I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that
I
that's
have a piano degree, jazz. I have a piano degree. Yeah.
what in the world? What made you want to do that, and why did you switch?
Well, that's a funny story. I don't know if I want to go into that, but I tell you what, I'll tell you this. I'm a little ADD. Okay, so there, it's out. But I liked playing piano. I liked music, but I felt like there was more in me. And when I went to school in high school and in junior high, I was completely into show choir. That was my thing. I was into sports too. Baseball, football for one brief moment. I was like, no, I got a concussion. I was like, this is not for me. But I just felt like there was more in me. So skipping ahead, as I was playing piano all those years, I got into situations. I've told this story a lot, but I'll tell it real quick. I've gotten into situations where people would say, hey, we need some choreography for this. And I'd be like, well, I know something about that because I'd taken some dance lessons earlier. And I had some dance training because I lived in Lafayette, Indiana, and Purdue University's there, and they needed boys to lift the girls. So I was like, oh, I can do that. I was like Mike in a chorus line. I can do that, that's it. I was just taking dance lessons. But as I got into these situations where I was playing piano, someone would say, I need choreography for this. And I'd say, well, I know something about that. And that happened so often that over time, I was getting so much work as a choreographer, not show choir so much, but theater and, oh my goodness, beauty pageant stuff and whatever. So I eventually got to a point where I was like, well, I'm getting so many calls for this, I better figure out what the heck I'm doing. So that's when I really jumped into learning about the art of choreography and production design, and that made a difference to me. So I used my music to get into that, and that seemed to fit my ADD because I could get up and dance and play, and get up and dance and play, so it was that. So anyway.
So you said you grew up in Lafayette, Indiana?
Yeah, Lafayette, Indiana.
Did you go to Jefferson High School, or was
No, I
there?
went to McCutcheon High School, which is it's a suburb outside of Lafayette. We didn't live in town. We lived out near. All my friends are farmers, cows and pigs and corn, and I did say pigs and corn, right? And tractors.
Yeah, those are all my friends too. We have a similar experience.
Fields. I grew up in farm fields. It was like that's what you did. You played in the woods and in the corn, literally, children of the corn.
Yeah. I think a lot of us come from, that.
Yeah. Corny backgrounds. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you say you went on to learn about design and about choreography, were you just jumping into more theater jobs, or like what was your education like post college that you were learning more about, how to do those things?
Sure. During college, at Millikan, I worked for Decatur MacArthur High School. They're in Decatur. I think it's the General Airs. That's the name of the group. I worked for them for something like 4 years. Like the time was there. So I choreographed the musicals. I choreographed the freshman group, the girls group, and the mixed group. And at the end of the year, I would get $600. And I did that for four years in a row. So you can see I was really raking it in. And then I went on to play piano and all that. But what I started diving into for choreography is I was doing a lot of theater at the time, so I really started. I would take if I was doing a tap thing, I would take tap lessons to learn all about that. If I were doing I had to choreograph Brigadoon one time, knew nothing about that, so I had to learn what a sword dance was. So I dove into sword dance. Because they were in the middle of Illinois, which was near Mount Zion, that was dumping me into all the stuff with Dwight Jordan. So I'm watching Singing Blue, and I'm watching Dwight's way that he designs stuff. I'm like, okay, I see how that goes together. And as Dwight has said before, I've talked to him before, you always find references for what it is you're trying to do, and then you try to figure out what are the main things that reference has to, what are the main elements of that style, and you capture the elements. You don't capture someone else's choreography, you capture the elements of the style. So that's it. I just became really, I think, pretty adept, is that the word? Adept at,
Inept is the opposite.
The opposite, yeah. I became just kind of a student of it, and I just studied everything I could. So I moved to Chicago. I was taking lessons with Lou Conte's studio. I studied some stuff with Barry Lather. I don't know if you know who that is. He did a lot of stuff with Michael Jackson. And then, a big thing that was a big thing for me, and I'll shove about it, is I got this book deal with Warner Brothers, probably in the mid-'90s, where I was going to do an encyclopedia of dance styles. And it was for show choir. There was nothing like it. And the book deal fell through, but only after I had done a 1 year of research on it. And so to do this research, I studied all these choreographers: Michael Kidd, Michael Peters, Bob Fosse, Jerome Robbins, Twyla Tharp, Susan Stroman. I mean, I studied all these choreographers, and I had to list all their films that they had done and what classifies Bob Fosse's choreography. How can you tell you're watching Michael Kidd choreography? And I did a whole year of research for this book, and the book deal fell through because Hal Leonard came up with something, John Jacobson came up with something. So it was like, this isn't going to work. Okay, we're put that on hold. And I was sitting on all this research about choreography, and I'd done all this work, and so I digress. The long story short, I just did a lot of kind of, on my own, just like, okay, what's that? How's that work?
So did that help you get to your book in the future, and was some of that research like stuff that you had done in the 90s?
No, that was all fresh stuff. No, it was that was all about choreography design.
Okay, so that helped you with your choreography design.
Exactly.
Right.
And to this day, I don't really watch show choir. I don't watch show choir. I watch it if I have to judge.
Yeah, just to clarify, when you're judging, you are watching. Yeah. Okay.
I absolutely am watching.
Just want to make sure we're clear here.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. No, if I'm paid to watch, I'll watch. But no.
So tell me about your choreography process. Like when you get the PDF, when you get the MP3, what happens next? What do you do to put everything together, and how does the design process work in your head?
Well, I'm going to assume it's the same with you guys. I've watched a lot of your work recently, Adam and Alex. I've watched a lot of your work recently. I've been judging a lot of stuff over in Indiana, and so your stuff's showing up over there, Alex. And Muscatine, I remember last year's show, the werewolf thing. I thought was very creative, and
Thank you.
Yes, it was. It was. I think I gave you a first or whatever. Like you won. Yeah, grand champion. I love.
Yeah.
I love that. And Alex, I think didn't you just Chesterton just won somewhere, right?
Yeah, they were
Northridge.
Northridge. Okay. No, at Northridge.
No, they were Illinois somewhere.
Oh, was it El Paso Gridley?
Yes.
Sorry, it's confusing.
Yes, I judged Northridge. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
I just read the results, so it should be fresh in my brain.
It just scans and then it goes away.
Yeah. Well, it all blurs together after a while. You go to 5 of them, it's like what,
Yeah.
So anyway, I think my process is watching your work. I'm going to assume it's very similar, and that is you hear the music and you get some ideas about the quality. You don't know what the moves are. You don't know what the steps are going to be, but you can have an idea of what the quality of it's going to be. Is it going to be hip, or is it going to be, classical, or is it going to be quirky, and that's the kind of the general impressions. And then, of course, you're always, as a choreographer, well, not always, but oftentimes, you're trying to really just kind of realize someone else's vision. Some director says, hey, I want to do this thing, and I like this piece of music. And you know what? For the record, not every piece of music should be choreographed. Not that. I said it.
There it is, folks. What's your process? I meant to ask Randy Sage this, and it skipped my mind. But what's your process for drawing staging? Because I know you do a lot of theater, and you have very interesting ways of moving the charts and keeping things flowing. Like, what's your process for creating blocking charts?
I use a software called StageRight. It's available for iPad. And that's a really great piece of software. It's kind of expensive, but it's I've been using it a lot lately. If you're doing it fast and dirty, then I simply do, handwritten charts. But if I have time to plan it, and the job is the type of situation where, it needs to be a little more, I'm going to send them an invoice, then it's laid out in such a way that every single body is accounted for. And what I'm most concerned with is the way the colors move on the stage. The best situation is to have it where it's you've got lots of height, and you've got lots of room in which you can move the bodies. If it's too tight, 60 people, too many people. Just get them off the stage. It's too many. Yeah. But you want to be able to see the colors move. That's the key, I think, for moving bodies. So just getting to the picture isn't good enough. It's how they get to the picture.
Mm-hmm. Do you pick a lot of the songs for groups you choreograph, or design shows with directors, or is it the opposite way? You just get assigned, a song here or there?
It's different for different things. The general way it works is three ways, kind of. The general way it works is a director. I tend to work with directors who have an idea of what they want to do. So they say, hey, I want to do a show about travel or whatever. So they say, what about this song or this song? And they usually come to me with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 songs, or all of it. And then I kind of listen to it, and then I think in terms of what visually has to happen. I mean, in my brain, my part, what I add, and then I go, well, this song here is not that. I don't know what you would do with that visually. It's awkward. What if you replaced it with this song? Or what if this happened here? And then I will suggest songs. And then sometimes that's one scenario. And then sometimes there's a song I absolutely have to do. It's in my body, and I'm like, I got to do this song somewhere. I then will think about it, and I go, okay, who can do this song? And then I'll say, hey.
What are some examples of those?
One of them was a year ago. I had to do way back in the day. I had to do Ball and the Jack.
Across Central.
Classic.
Oh yeah. Well, I was with Nerf balls, and I had this idea. I said, I got to do this song, and I originally was going to do that with ETC, but ETC is they're a community show choir. They're not associated with a school. So Bob, the general manager there, he was concerned that they couldn't figure out the height for the seating, because you have to sit a certain way, and he was concerned. He's like, I don't know, we have to travel with seating. I was like, okay, well, nix it. And I ended up doing it with GCS, and that ended up being a hit for them. There was a song I did a year ago called The Joker for Sioux City East, in which one girl had red gloves, and then they do this number, and by the end of the song, everyone else has white gloves, and by the end of the song, everyone has red gloves, and hers turn white. And that, it required some research, but I had to do this number, and it's tricky. It's good. I like it. So.
I want to talk to you, Adam. Hold up. Adam's going to give you a book pitch. He's got the book there.
Okay.
And we're officially sponsored by this
Today's
book.
Show Choir Live is sponsored. What tears in jazz hands?
So tell us about this book.
I got it for Christmas from my mom, and I was thrilled. It was like,
Yeah. Candy. Eye candy.
Tell us about how you got the idea for the book and what the process with the book was like. And you had a co-writer on that, and if you could tell us how you guys worked together on the book as well.
Sure. The book came about, I'd say, the spring of 2010. Colleen Hart, who is the co-writer, she was a member at ETC, speaking of ETC, All Americans over in Akron. She came to me and she says, "Hey, Mike, how have you been? I live in Chicago now." She just got graduated from school. She worked for a marketing firm. She has the clients of Spam and Olive Garden. That was her clients. She wrote stuff for Spam and Olive Garden. Anyway, she came to me and she's like, "Hey, I live in Chicago now. I got this idea for a book. I would love to write a story about you and the way you travel around and, And I was like, "Colleen," I said, "that's flattering, but I said, no one's going to read that. I wouldn't read it." I was like, "That's, my mother might read it, but I wouldn't read that." So I told her that in 2000, I had done research for the American Choral Directors Association. They were trying to legitimize show choir because there's always this war between the legit people and the show choir people, and legit people, show choir's bad. They were trying to legitimize it, and their plan. It was Diana Spradling, president of that at the time. She says, "What if we tie show choir to Fred Waring?" And Fred Waring is he's like the father of choral music. Back in the day, he had the kind of first show choir. He was using riser stacks that were 12 feet tall. No kidding, 12 feet. There's a picture of that in the book. Anyway, it was that research that I was sitting on where I had to interview all these people. I was on a panel, so I interviewed all these people, and I wrote this 50-page article to help tie show choir to Fred Waring. That research I brought to Colleen. I said, "Hey, what if we turn this paper and all this research, I've got more, turn this into a book? What if we can do that?" So she thought that was an interesting idea. I called Hal Leonard, because I knew the people there. They put me in touch with Applause Cinema and Theater Books in New Jersey, and I sent it to them. I said, "Here's an idea for a book." I said, "It needs to be full color, it needs to be lots of pictures, it needs to be a thing." And nothing. I didn't hear anything back from them for about 4 to 6 weeks. And suddenly one day, the head editor calls me and says, "Hey, are you the guy, want to do this book?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, does it have to be full color?" I said, "Absolutely." "Does it have to be big?" I said, "Yes." "How many pages?" I said, "At least 200. And he's like, "Okay, can you write me a first chapter?" Colleen and I were like, "Yeah." So we, over like 24 hours, we whipped up a chapter. I threw some pictures in. And he's like, "Okay, you got a deal. We'll do it. I need it in 11 months. And we had 11 months to put a book together. So that's how that worked. And we went through each chapter, all my original research, puffed it up, blew it up. I did some more interviews. I did another, say, 20 interviews with people. I interviewed Dwight and Jen and April and whoever, Damon, Jason Johnson, all people I had not interviewed before, people who were working in show choir a lot nowadays. You know what I'm talking about. And anyway, that's it. We turned it all in, met the deadline, and then we did the edits and I think the hardest part of that, well, between Colleen and I, Colleen's job in this was to take my research, my writing, and help me make it less academic. I went to grad school and all that for film directing. So I'm all into.
Why not? Like literally, what? You're such an enigma. Like, what in the heck?
You are the future Alex Hall.
Literally,
I'm just talking about weather. I know nothing about weather except it's cold in Canada.
Yeah, well, it is here too, as you
Yeah.
probably could imagine. But you
Anyway.
just seem to like just punch through life. Like all these things come to you, and you just always say yes.
Well, I think that's true. Whether I know how to do it or not, I just go, yeah, I'll do that, and then I go, fall on my face, and then I pick it up and go, okay, let's try it again. Oh, that was good.
That's
So
actually how this show works every
Every
night.
week.
I get that, gentlemen. If you remember the first episode, I contacted you, and I said, you are doing it. I said that to you. I told you guys that. I said, you are doing it. That's what it's about. Take chances, take risks. If someone doesn't care, doesn't like it, it doesn't matter. Because you're doing something that you're interested in, and it's awesome. I told you guys this. First
Yeah, and getting started is the hardest part too.
It's true.
Hmm.
But do it.
Period. Just do it.
Just do it.
Um, Let me ask you about your app, because I downloaded your app.
Did you? It
Yeah,
working? It's working,
before
right?
the show. What's that?
Working?
Yeah, working.
They
It doesn't
switched
work.
to iPhone 8. It stopped working for a minute, and I was like, oh no. So.
Yeah, it doesn't work in horizontal.
Oh,
Yeah, but it does. It's just fine in the vertical. But
it will work on an iPad horizontal.
oh, okay. Maybe it's just the iPhone
If you open
6.
it on the iPad, there's a blocking app in it.
There's a blocking app in this?
It's built in it. It only opens on iPad, though. It will not open on the iPhone because it's too small.
Ah, that's cool. Have you used it? Is it pretty smooth?
It's okay. I think the StageRight version I use is nicer, but that's a much more expensive platform.
Isn't StageRight like $500 or something?
No, it's like $2.99. It might be $1.99. It's
That's
pricey, but it's really cool. You can like drop little icons and microphones and move people. You can move whole chunk. It's like marching band software sort of.
Right. Well, tell us about this app, and how did you get involved with this? Did a developer contact you, or was this your idea, which I would not be surprised whatsoever?
It was not my idea. It was a guy named Kevin Andrews. His real name is Kevin Amison. But he was a show choir guy from Sauk Prairie. If you recall Sauk Prairie. And Kevin is an entrepreneur, and this guy is into everything. The first time he called me for something. Anyway, he's been dancing. I won't go into all this. He's a dancer. He worked in L.A. He's whatever. He's an entrepreneur. So he's got like maybe 50 apps, whatever. And he contacted me and said, "Hey, Mike, I have an idea for a show choir app. What would you do, like some moves, show choir dance moves?" I was like, I said, well, I have to control the content. So he says, okay. And so I hired 2 dancers, and those are both they're both from Mississippi. One's Taylor Bird, and the other one is Hillary Smith. And they are both from Mississippi. And we shot that all in 2 days, 208 combinations in 2 days at Jones Junior College in December of 2013. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
Sorry, and I know you did this. This is just kind of off a little bit, but I know you did a little blooper reel. Oh, I should.
The chair choreography.
And that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
How many takes did that take for that?
20-something.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, just to clarify, that is not something you would do with, say, 10 guys or 15 guys in a guy's number.
Right.
If there's one guy that can do it, there's my trick. Don't try to do it with 10 guys. That won't work.
But the app,
we just lost. Boom.
if you were new to show choir and trying to put something together and didn't have like a lot of guidance, like that app would be perfect, because you not only do you do the video stuff and like show the dance moves, but there's text where it's like written out and broken down, and you're breaking it down while they're kind of dancing it. And if you were brand new to this stuff, or even if you're just looking for a move or two here or there, or like a style like kind of vibe, I think that app could be really neat, and I think that's a really cool thing.
Thank you.
You're also using technology now to it's almost kind of like you're Skyping into rehearsals. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Let me add this though. The app has, I think, 49 different combinations, but there's a three DVD set that we're trying to get published right now. It has 208 combinations. And it's all other stuff on top of what you got there. The absolutely 49 combinations. Anyway, the thing you're asking about there is, Adam, is the I use a system called Life Size, and it's a HD teleconferencing, just like businesses use. If you're going to talk to Dubai or whatever, the thing is, it's always been kind of out of reach financially for most people. It's like 20 grand. They, for a while, businesses were having things like a Halo room, where it was like a room dedicated to video conferencing and cameras, and then it got smaller, and now it's mobile, and it's kind of ridiculous. It would be like, we have our email room. And I was like, why would you go to a room to do email? That's ridiculous. So the new thing now is mobile teleconferencing, telepresence, but it has to be better than Skype. So I use a system, it's called Life Size. It's the 600 icon series. It's 720p, and I can get it to do 1080p. It allows me to talk directly, just like we're doing here, but it's not glitchy, and it's instant. So I have 4 clients that I work with where they have that system, 2 of them permanently set up that I can meet with them in class. The other day, I got a phone call from Scott Rains, who's now in Tiffin, Georgia, and he's like, it was like 10 till 8 or something a.m. He's like, hey, you ready? And I'm totally asleep in bed. My phone's ringing. He's like, hey, and I'm like, oh, like explicitive, whatever.
Yeah.
I literally said, give me 5 minutes, and I went in there and I slapped all the lighting equipment, and I turned on the system and threw on some clothes and grabbed a coffee, and I was suddenly in front of 20 girls, and for the next 75 minutes we choreographed a number. So I was like, wow. And then it was done, turned it off, and was like, okay, I'm home. I didn't.
Back to bed.
Still in Chicago.
Yes, there was no rental car, no flight, no taxi. I was like, this is, and that's it. I charge them for my time, and it works out. It's better for everyone. So it's cool.
Last year, you received the Fame Aspire Award for Lifetime Achievement. I was there. I saw your speech. It was great. Can you tell us, who are some of the people that have inspired you along the way, directors or choreographers or other people?
Sure. We all have mentors, intentional or not. Sometimes you have mentors that teach you things that are directly to you. Hey, I need to tell you this. Sometimes you have mentors that don't like what you got to say, and that teaches you something too. So, that's kind of been it. But in the show choir business, of course, I've learned a lot from Dwight. I think Dwight has a solid eye for design. He's not a flashy dancer, but he's a solid designer, and I think he's right on with that. And he's managed to mutate his career in all kinds of ways to stay relevant and stay edgy in his right. And I commend him on it, and I learned from that. Linda McEachran. She was the first time I think that I was really aware of how style is important. It's not all about the fresh and now. Sometimes it's about recalling what was back then, and that's now my thing. I'm like all into style. Name the period. Let's go. But those 2 people. But outside of show choir, well, let me keep going with show choir for a moment. I'm inspired by you guys. I watch what you're doing with your technology. You're jumping into stuff you don't quite know a lot about, but you're making it happen anyway, and that's kind of
Well, I mean, it's happening.
It's barely happening.
We push it.
You know what? It's happening.
We push it down the hill, and because of gravity, it rolls.
Exactly. And you just kind of guide it. I know. I know, I know. And hey, uh, trust me, those that have jumped into the fire and did things that you didn't know, and it's going to be a success or a failure. Those who have done that can see it and appreciate it and get it. So yeah.
We've got a lot of people on Twitter right now, a lot of Albertville kids that are tweeting about you. There's some questions, though. Someone asked, what is the most creative thing you've ever done with a group, and who was it?
Oh wow. Wow. I don't know. That's a good question. I think that Albertville is a really unique and that's a unique thing there. They are this year doing a show that takes place on a spaceship, so I think that's pretty creative. Now that's not all me. That's Scott Rains and Natasha Tidmore and and Chris Rhodes and who else is there? There's a lot of people. Anyway, I think that's kind of creative. It's fun. I love that they are trying to be out of the box and they don't care. I love that. So you look for those opportunities. Most people want to be in the box because they want to go home with a piece of the hardware at the end of the day. But Albertville, they don't really care.
I'm a big fan of Let's Misbehave, 2004 GCS, and I also love King of the Road, Totino and Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Yes. Well, the first King of Row, I did that number a few times, and the first time I did it was for pedal.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one.
Yep, and more than once those boxes have slipped and almost fallen. So they're standing there, and it's on the edge. It's right there. So.
Well, and you were cheeky. You always put the tallest people on the top too, so it was always very scary to see these sequoia tree high schoolers go to the top of the box, and you're like, this thing's falling over, isn't it? Yeah, I never saw it fall over though, so that's good.
Well, it's yeah. I never fell. I never saw it fall, but yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. King of the Road. That's cool. I liked Ball and Jack. I think that was a fun number.
Yeah, Stephen Todd was tweeting about that. He was saying that was his favorite. So you've got a shout out from Stephen Todd.
Stephen, you're doing such great work these days. Oh my goodness, I just saw something he did. Stephen's got a great eye. Oh my goodness, he pulls in colors and costumes like nobody's business. He's so really creative. It's really good. Really good. Awesome.
We have a question on Twitter that is, what is your most embarrassing show choir story?
Oh, man. Really? Okay. My most embarrassing show, I'll tell this. Oh, man, this is, okay. I'm down in Quincy, Illinois, and I am a critique judge. So I'm watching, the groups, and oh, you know how that works out. You get there early in the morning, you're drinking coffee, you're nibbling, you're trying to make the day work, whatever. Anyway, I was in front of these kids, and we were talking about something, and they had this problem. They kept doing something in their choreography where they were turning. They would like sing it's like love. They're holding a note while full turning. And they weren't even trying to, make that work. So I said, okay. So I said, you guys, you've got to do some of your choreography here. They're all quiet. They're all sitting here around me. We're in the critique session, and I said, here's what you're doing. You're turning while you're singing. So I demonstrated. I went, and I did it. As I did that, I totally farted.
Nice. A good fart will go a long way.
Yeah, I totally did, and I tried to play it off. I scraped my shoe, like, oh, it's my shoe. The whole front row was like.
That trick does not work in front of high school kids.
No, because they've all done it. Yeah. If I had a chair, then I could scoot the chair. It didn't work. So. So I finished the session and there was no other problems, but that was one of my most embarrassing show.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we have any more Twitter questions here. What was the app called again? That's a Twitter question.
Oh, it's called Show Choir Dance Moves.
Show choir dance moves.
It's the only thing on iTunes with the term show choir in it.
Right, right. All I had to do was type in iTunes in the App Store, and it went right to it.
Yeah.
Having some technical difficulties here. He's committed hangout suicide once again, so we're trying to get him back.
Can you at least hear me?
Oh, whoa, there you are.
Am I good?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
You're back. You're back. You're a real person again. Congrats.
Yay.
But I think I'm going to move on to Mike. I didn't even get to tell you that this was going to happen. So, but you're pretty good at rolling with stuff. This is my favorite part of the show. It's called Lightning Round. We put 60 seconds on an imaginary clock, which we do not monitor, and we will just try to get through as many of these questions as we can, and yeah, just as quickly as we can go. All right? The kind of random. That's just kind of the deal.
Okay.
All right.
Pass.
And away we go. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Pterodactyl.
What's good? That's a good one. What's your favorite book?
Wow, that's good. Confederacy of Dunces.
What's your favorite app?
Oh, that's great. Ratio GS. GR ratio.
What's that? What's that
The
for?
Golden Ratio app. It's for figuring out golden ratio.
Do you use that in choreo design?
Constantly.
Oh yeah, nice. What's on your iPhone case? Like, what's your iPhone case?
Mophie.
Mophie, smart guy. Movie theater or wait for it on Netflix?
Depends. Movie theater.
What kind of car do you drive?
I don't have a car.
What kind of car would you want?
I would do a hybrid BMW.
What's your favorite place to visit?
UK.
What's your favorite thing to do in Chicago?
Good question. Restaurants, nightlife.
What's the best neighborhood in Chicago?
Oh, wow. Well, Edgewater, of course.
Right, yeah, okay. Do you ever catch yourself with a Chicago accent?
What kind of accent? I don't know. What?
Well, every once in a while I hear myself say something. I'm like, who said that? I'm from Indiana. Dude.
They make fun of my accent here in Toronto all the time. They're always making fun. I'm like, what, do I have an accent?
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have one. Don't
Maybe
you know?
maybe
You betcha.
Have you ever been in an earthquake?
Yes,
Where was that?
San Francisco.
What's the craziest storm you've ever been in?
Oh, that's good. That recent thing, that snow thing that we had, what, about a month ago? It was like.
Oh, the blizzard of January, like Super Bowl, the Super Bowl blizzard.
Craziness, yeah. That was stupid.
Yeah, I got stuck in Minneapolis and ended up hanging out up there for a while. Can you name every planet in the solar system?
Probably not, because there's some new ones now.
Well, they just got rid of one, I think.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we'll let it go.
I could probably go through most of them, but I'm not going
The Office or Parks and Rec?
to. Oh, wow. The Office.
Name a backup band director.
A backup band director?
Yeah, name a band director for a show choir.
Oh, a band director?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Stephen Brandt.
There you go. Coffee or tea?
T.
Give a name to this move.
Oh, wow. Salmon Magic. Salmon
Salmon Magic is gonna go viral.
I'm hoping for Salmon Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, I had to really think of something weird. That took me a while. But you killed it. You crushed that. Good job. I want to ask you about one last thing. What are you doing in Toronto? And you're involved with a documentary that just won an award. And what's going on over there?
Sure. Well, Toronto, as you know, is they're catching the show choir fever. So the the last couple of years, it's been growing, and there's a TV producer named Mose Mozanin who produced a documentary called Unsung Behind the Glee, and it follows 4 students who go to the 2 kind of top competing schools here in Toronto. In Canada, there's only one competition in the whole country, so it followed them and their journeys through show choir and to the competition, and anyway, it's a television documentary, so it was made for TV. So this thing here was like, it's called the Canadian Screen Awards, and this is like the Emmys or an Oscar. It's the Oscars or the Emmys of the Canadian. It's kind of it's the Emmys, I guess. Last night was Emmys. Oscars would be more movies. This was television. So anyway, I'm in the documentary. I choreographed stuff for the group. I've done interviews with this director, and anyway, I'm just part of the team of the people with this, and we won Best Documentary. So that's what it was. So that means that there's probably going to be another series of these, and they're going to probably come and shoot some in the U.S.
Nice, nice. Well, if they ever want to follow another choreographer, I'll be around.
Okay, no problem. I gotcha.
Okay, good, good.
Speed dial.
All right. Well, it is 9:01, so I'm gonna try to get to some of my other items of business here. The most exciting thing in all of this is the Show Choir Camps of America scholarships that we have available. We have 2 full ride scholarships available. All you have to do is answer the question, what does show choir mean to you? And you can answer it in any way you want. Get creative. That was one of those moments, any way you want. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Why? Yeah,
what
why?
the heck? I don't know. I've been here for 6 years, and now it's in there somewhere. But yeah, for the details on that, go to showchoirlive.com. But the biggest announcement is that the deadline is March 1st, which is...
Can you believe it is the end of February already?
No, because I remember when you and I were talking about when should we make the deadline for the scholarship, and we said March 1st, and I'm like, oh, that's like a year away. I mean,
that's 3 days away.
Yeah, that's insane. So March 1st, guys, get that in. Email your stuff to showchoirlive@gmail.com. We want as many of you to have that.
There's 2 available, so obviously tell your friends too. You could maybe get one, and your friend could maybe get one. Who knows? There's lots of submissions already, but we want more. We want as many as possible. This is a great opportunity, and it's an amazing camp.
And I have one more really exciting announcement.
You are so excited about this.
What? Am I really? I am.
You've been talking about this forever.
That's okay, right? Okay, so we announced last time that we were going to have a t-shirt design contest, and we had one amazing entry. The design was a little too complex for what we were able to kind of put on the shirt, but I did like it, and I want to shout out to David Eschenbrenner, who sent us a t-shirt design with a pretty cool quote on the back, and the quote was, "Performing live actually thrills me. Just get me a stage, get me a mic, and I'm going to be happy. Rita Wilson." I thought that was cool. So shout out to David. I'm going to get you a shirt, David, because now we have Show Choir Live t-shirts, and it's already up on our website on showchoirlive.com. There are lots of different varieties, and it's all through Teespring. So check those out. And to get that order filled on Teespring, I put a 5-day limit on that so we could get these shirts out to you guys, because once we hit the minimum and the stuff goes to press, then it's going to take 10 to 14 days to get those out to you. So I set a 5-day limit. So in 5 days we need to sell, it said 50 to me earlier. It says 15 on the website now. We're going to try to sell 50. So in 5 days, we're going to try to sell 50 T-shirts. They're $16, which isn't unreasonable. And this is going to some technology that we use. The software program that I'm running called Wirecast back here costs $500, and which is a sizable amount of money. And Also, we've got some other tech stuff like mics and stuff that we've kind of sunk in. So we make $3 a shirt, and it's just gonna chip away at some of that cost. Like, there's no way we're gonna make.
We don't make profit on this show. We aren't paid to do this. We do this for the love of show choir and the love of our community. So anything that can help us recoup what we've already put in would be awesome.
Yeah, and the T-shirts are cool, I think. I mean, I may be a little biased. But so if you go to showchoirlive.com, you can kind of see them. Actually, I was having trouble with the hyperlink on the website. So go to, I don't know why it wouldn't link to the Teespring site. It just refused. So go to teespring.com/showchoirlive, and that's how you get the T-shirts. There's a gray one, like a standard shirt, and then there's a V-neck that's white. There's a girl's shirt that's white. There's a gray long sleeve and a gray hoodie. And the hoodie's pretty cool. But if David emails me his address and stuff, I'm going to get him stuff. And we need to send some for the Uptown Funk Challenge stuff too, Adam, so we'll have to talk about that. But that's the other big announcement. T-shirts. I wish we had hashtag Salmon Magic T-shirts. Maybe we can get that going too.
Twitter is blowing up about Salmon Magic right now. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah? I haven't looked over in a while. But yeah, I think that's all that I have as far as announcements. Our next episode is going to be Sunday. We're going to be back on Sundays. Hopefully we're done with all this big February TV stuff on Sundays that we have to compete with. And we've got Ben.
Next week we've got the Eklunds, Dr. Peter Eklund and his choreographer son, Ben Eklund.
We're super excited for them to be on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And next weekend, we got a lot of competitions. Adam, where are you going next weekend?
I am judging Grand Island, Nebraska.
And Mr. Mike Weaver, where are you going?
I'm going to Twinsburg.
Twinsburg, judging at Twinsburg?
Weekend, yeah.
Nice, that'll be fun.
Shout out to Randy Lanou.
Yes.
That's right, he tweeted us earlier and said
something about that Mike was judging and something about you doing your hair or something, I don't know.
Oh, he said he's going to look great with a big poofy hair and a spray tan.
Right, yes.
So apparently he wants to dress you up like a Twinsburg. I just lost my voice. I'm dying, I think. Hey, I'm 30, so it's
you are 30 years old.
It's all fallen down from here. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna go to Broadhead, Wisconsin, with Mount Prospect Mixed Company and Company. So if you're there, say hi. And I won't have T-shirts with me, but maybe someday. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. Mike, thanks so much, man. We're so glad you could come on, and we've wanted you on for a while, and we're glad to finally catch you. And have it work out just at the last second in your crazy Toronto film running around and all that. So thanks for making time for us.
Thank you for having me. You asked good questions, and good luck with both you guys and what you're doing. I think it's good. I think it's very good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Alex, I wanted to say, just thank you for that hookup with Cowspiracy. If no one's seen that, that has totally changed the way I eat. I'm really not kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, I didn't even know you were there, Mike, but that film is incredible.
I know.
We went to Chicago, me and Steph, who's sitting over here, we went and saw it, and we're on the same boat as you. We're just kind of changing the way we eat.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, any thinking person should see that film. So anyway, I just throwing that out there. Thanks for the hookup. So it's good.
No problem. I want to leave you guys with a little bit of special video. So Adam and I were hanging out last night, and he was saying, we were talking about storm chasing somehow. I don't even remember how we got on the topic. Well, we typically get on the topic. And he says, oh yeah, it's like that one storm that I drove into in the Quad Cities. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, there was this one time where there was a tornado warning when I was in college, and I just drove, listened to the radio, and wherever it said not to go, I drove. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he told me this insane story about, and I like went back and did all the research and was finding like these violent tornadoes that happened that day, and he drove into this like perfectly structured supercell thunderstorm with like really strong rotation, and like I was like, how did you survive that? That doesn't make any sense. So and one
Let
of
it
the
be known, I did not know that you were going to do this, so thanks.
No, yeah. So I'm gonna play the lightning video from before you left because it's some of the craziest lightning I've ever seen.
It was taped in Bettendorf, Iowa, which now has a show choir.
So I'm gonna switch audio sources, and this is the like, I can't believe you didn't get hit by lightning. There's I mean,
it
and
looks like I
just,
almost do twice.
yeah, you guys will see in the video. It really looks like.
Jeez, God. Oh my God. Yeah, you could hear me. Obviously, I was freaking out. I literally was standing there, and the hairs on my arm and the back of my neck were raising up. So I'm guessing I was pretty close.
That's because you were like in the electrical field of the light. Like, you did you see the last one right before I cut it? It's like I don't know how far away it is. It's literally right in front of your face. I don't understand how you didn't get hit.
Well, I'm glad I didn't.
And just the sound of that kind of lightning, like when the storm is that severe, just is like ripping. I just love that.
Thank you, show choir community, for staying with us watching that video. I'm sure you are all fascinated. Yes, we are fascinated because we're nerds like that, but thank you for staying with us.
Yeah, I think Mike.
Yeah, he waved goodbye.
He was like, "Peace out. I'm in Toronto.
He's got to go to some
I'm gonna hang,
Toronto, you know, whatever."
Yeah, but I just had to play that because I just couldn't believe that video. That's the craziest stuff. All right, guys. Well, now that we've switched to weather nerd mode, I think I'll let you go. So from Toronto, Iowa City, Iowa, and Chicago, Illinois, we will see you guys on Sunday. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.
Bye.
Whoa!